The universe is a vast and ever-changing canvas. Across billions of years, it has spun a magnificent tapestry of stars, galaxies, and planets. On our own planet, a remarkable phenomenon has unfolded. Life. Life on Earth is not static. It is in a constant state of flux, adapting and changing over time. This process, my friends, is what we call evolution. Evolution is the gradual change in the inherited characteristics of populations over successive generations. It is the driving force behind the incredible diversity of life we see today, from the smallest microbe to the largest whale. It is a testament to the power of adaptation and the relentless march of time. Imagine Earth's history as a vast, ancient library. Each book in this library represents a different species, and each page tells the story of its journey through time. Evolution is the librarian, carefully curating this collection, adding new volumes and revising old ones. Understanding evolution is crucial to understanding our place in the grand scheme of life. It helps us appreciate the interconnectedness of all living things and the remarkable journey that has brought us to this point in time. Before we dive deeper into the mechanisms of evolution, let's travel back in time to meet two pioneers who dared to ask, how did life on Earth become so diverse? These were Jean-Baptiste Lamarck and Charles Darwin. Lamarck, a French naturalist, proposed the idea of inheritance of acquired characteristics. He believed that traits acquired during an organism's lifetime, like a giraffe stretching its neck to reach higher leaves, could be passed on to its offspring. While intriguing, this idea was later disproven. Enter Charles Darwin, an English naturalist who revolutionized our understanding of life. Darwin proposed the theory of natural selection, which posits that individuals with traits better suited to their environment are more likely to survive, reproduce, and pass on those advantageous traits. Imagine a population of beetles with varying colors. If a predator finds it easier to spot and eat the lighter-colored beetles, the darker beetles will have a survival advantage. Over time, the population will become dominated by darker beetles. This, my friends, is natural selection in action. Darwin's theory, supported by a wealth of evidence, became the foundation of modern evolutionary biology. It explained the diversity of life as the product of natural processes, a symphony of chance and selection playing out over eons. Evolution leaves its mark on life in many ways, like whispers from the past echoing through time. These whispers come in the form of fossils, anatomical similarities, and even in the very building blocks of life itself, DNA. Fossils, the preserved remains of ancient organisms, provide a tangible record of life's history. They paint a picture of gradual change over millions of years, with simpler life forms appearing earlier in the fossil record and more complex ones evolving later. Comparative anatomy offers further clues. By studying the similarities and differences in the structures of different organisms, we can trace their evolutionary relationships. For example, the bone structure of a human arm, a bat's wing, and a whale's flipper, though outwardly different, share a striking similarity, suggesting a common ancestor. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from molecular biology. By comparing the DNA sequences of different species, we can determine their evolutionary relatedness. The more similar the DNA, the more closely related the organisms. These lines of evidence converge to tell a unified story. Life on Earth is a product of descent with modification, a grand evolutionary saga spanning billions of years. Section 4. The engines of change. Mechanisms. Driving evolution. Evolution is not a single event, but an ongoing process driven by a complex interplay of mechanisms. These mechanisms, like invisible hands, shape the diversity of life, constantly shuffling the genetic deck and creating new possibilities. Natural selection, as we've discussed, is a major player. It favors traits that increase an organism's fitness, its ability to survive and reproduce in its environment. But natural selection is not the only force at play. Genetic drift, the random fluctuation of gene frequencies in a population, can also lead to evolutionary change, especially in smaller populations. Imagine a small population of flowers with different colored petals. if a random event like a storm wipes out a significant portion of one color variant, the gene pool will be altered and the population may evolve in a different direction. Gene flow, the movement of genes between populations, can introduce new genetic variation and counteract the effects of genetic drift. Think of a group of birds migrating to a new island and interbreeding with the existing population. This exchange of genes can lead to new combinations of traits and potentially drive evolutionary change. Finally, mutations, random changes in an organism's DNA sequence, provide the raw material for evolution. Mutations can be beneficial, harmful, or neutral, and their effects can range from subtle to dramatic. These mechanisms, acting in concert, create a dynamic evolutionary landscape, constantly shaping and reshaping the tapestry of life. Section 5. The birth of new species. Speciation and adaptive radiation. Evolution is not just about gradual change within a species. It's also about the formation of entirely new species, a process known as speciation. Speciation occurs when populations become reproductively isolated, meaning they can no longer interbreed to produce fertile offspring. There are different ways this isolation can occur. Geographic isolation, like the separation of populations by a mountain range or a body of water, can prevent gene flow and lead to the divergence of the isolated groups. Over time, these groups may accumulate enough genetic differences that they become distinct species. Another type of isolation is reproductive isolation, where barriers to interbreeding arise even if populations share the same geographic area. This can be due to differences in mating behaviors, incompatible reproductive systems, or other factors that prevent successful reproduction. Adaptive radiation is a special type of speciation where a single ancestral species gives rise to a diversity of new species, each adapted to a different ecological niche. A classic example is the finches of the Galapagos Islands, which Darwin studied extensively. These finches, believed to have descended from a common ancestor, evolved a variety of beak shapes and sizes, each adapted to exploit different food sources on the islands. Speciation and adaptive radiation are testaments to the power of evolution to generate biodiversity, filling every nook and cranny of the natural world with a dazzling array of life forms. Section 6. Our Journey Through Time. A glimpse into human evolution. We humans, with our complex societies, advanced technologies, and insatiable curiosity, are also products of this grand evolutionary saga. Our story is long and complex, stretching back millions of years to our primate ancestors. The fossil record tells a fascinating tale of human evolution, with each new discovery adding a piece to the puzzle. From the early hominids like Ardipithecus and Australopithecus, who walked upright but had relatively small brains, to the emergence of the genus Homo, our lineage has been marked by significant changes in brain size, body proportions, and cultural complexity. The development of tools, the control of fire, and the emergence of language were pivotal moments in human evolution, allowing our ancestors to adapt to new environments, exploit new resources, and communicate and cooperate in increasingly sophisticated ways. Our journey has been one of both continuity and change, shaped by the same evolutionary forces that have shaped all life on Earth. Understanding our evolutionary past provides a profound perspective on our present and helps us appreciate the remarkable journey that has made us who we are today. Section 7. Evolution, a story still unfolding. As we reach the end of our exploration of evolution, it's important to remember that this is not a story with a definitive ending. Evolution is an ongoing process, a continuous dance between life and its environment. The same forces that have shaped life for billions of years, natural selection, genetic drift, gene flow, and mutation, are still at work today, shaping the future of life on Earth, including our own. Understanding evolution is not just an academic pursuit. It's crucial for addressing some of the most pressing challenges facing humanity, from combating antibiotic resistance to conserving biodiversity in a rapidly changing world. So, let us embrace the wonders of evolution, the grand saga of life on Earth, and continue to explore its mysteries with open minds and a sense of wonder. For in understanding our past, we gain a deeper appreciation for the present and a clearer vision for the future.